two guys, Jones and Tolleson, are the guys that they will hit and run with, steal a few bases with. These are the catalysts for their offense. They try to get guys on base in front of Scott Bryant, of course, but they try to move them up into scoring position as quickly as possible.
The catcher is Eric Wedge. He displayed a tremendous arm last night against Florida State. And there's first pitch strike to Tolleson. Wedge was drafted by the Boston Red Sox. And he will remind some of Carlton Fisk when he stands at the plate, and about the same size as Fisk. And Red Sox fans are certainly hoping that he enjoys the same kind of a career. A quick throw over by Brummett.
We might add here that a pitcher in the College World Series is able to jump and throw to first base, whereas in the major leagues you have to keep in contact with the rubber.
Down low and missing again. Well, you mentioned the rules, Joe, and that gives us an opportunity to take a look at some of the differences.
Well, there you see they have a DH, and they also, the aluminum bat is permitted as well as the graphite bat. Relaxed balk rule, no roll blocks, you can't run over anyone, and you have to have ear flaps, the double ear flaps.
Again, a throw over, which forces Jones, the leadoff man for Texas, to hit the dirt. What about the effect of the rain on this natural grass infield?
Well, I think it does have an effect.
Ball is in the air, base hit to center field. And coming around to third base is Jones. So Texas puts runners on the corner with their first two hitters against Brummett.
And that's exactly what Gustafson likes to do. He likes to hit and run with those first two guys, and they do it very well. Jones is on the move, and Tolleson goes to right center field with the ball, and that's perfectly executed hit and run play.
Now, one of the most dangerous hitters in college baseball, Scott Bryant. Those are his stats on the season. Since he became more of a pitcher in the postseason, he has not yet hit the home run. Coach Gustafson wondering if perhaps that has affected his long ball hitting here. Taking the first pitch outside and low for a ball.
I always feel that when you try to do two things on a baseball field, pitch and be a hitter, I think one affects the other. And I think what has happened is he's concentrating so hard on his pitching that I think it's affected him as a hitter.
1 ball, no strikes to Bryant. And he stepped back off and a throw over, and he picks the man off first. Terrific move by Brummett.
Brent, this is a play I disagree with. He fakes a throw to third. Here's a fakes throw to third. Now he comes back to first base, and he's able to pick off Tolleson. There you see Tolleson moving away, and he's out by a mile. The reason I do not like that is the rule book says that the pitcher is not supposed to deceive the base runner. If he didn't deceive the guy at first base then, I don't know what he did.
Outside corner for a strike with that fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike on Bryant. Texas with a man on third and 1 out after Tolleson is picked off. Brummett using the full windup against Bryant. Swung on and missed.
Another thing about the pickoff is that's something you usually do not see in a Gustafson coached team. They're usually very fundamentally sound, especially with their leads at the bases.
Bryant averaging a homer every 16 at-bats, taking 1 outside, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And I think you'll see Greg Brummett pitch him away all day. He will try to get the slider on the outside corner. When he comes in, it'll be bad with the fastball off the plate inside.
Swung on and missed.
You see the catcher setting up on the outside. This is a good slider away from Brummett, and Bryant just chases it. You see Bryant here. He gets out on his front foot a little bit, and the pitch is away, and there's nothing he can do with it.
And that brings up the left fielder, Arthur Butcher. Taking a strike on that outside corner, that knee-high strike, effective here in the first inning for Brummett. But the key play was the pickoff at first base. Swung on and missed.
Butcher hitting behind Bryant has been very effective throughout the year. He's a very streaky hitter, but when he gets hot, of course, he can carry the ball club just like Bryant does, but he's a good left-handed hitter, and that's what you want behind your strong power hitter that's right-handed in the lineup.
And he struck him out. Consecutive strikeouts for Brummett. Texas threatens, but Drummond picks a man off first and then strikes out the 3 and 4 hitters for the Longhorns. And Wichita State will be coming to bat for the first time in this national championship game. And they will send up center fielder Jim Odley, P.J. Forbes, the second baseman, and the left fielder Mike McDonald when we come back.
I know college won't be an easy climb. That's why I joined the Army. With the GI Bill and the Army College Fund, in 2 years I'll have $17,000 to help me pay for college. And I'm developing the confidence and determination I'll need to help me succeed when I get there. Now I know I can make it to the top, not just in college, but in whatever I do.
Nice beard.
An electric razor doesn't shave that close.
It's not your razor, man. It's your face.
Without Electric Shave, your beard just lays there. Electric Shave stands up your beard so it shaves down close, lubricates for comfort.
Good tip.
Electric Shave for a closer, smoother shave.
Fancy perfumey aftershave. It's got to be a quarterback's locker. Real guys who get mud on their uniforms use rugged, honest stuff. Ice Blue Aqua Velva.
There's something about today's Aqua Velva, man.
So you still think linemen are dumb?
Last year it ended in a 4-way sudden death thriller. Now another stellar field faces off at the manufacturer's Hanover Westchester Classic today on CBS Sports.
The lineup for Wichita State, center fielder Jim Odley will lead off. Batting second is Patrick Joseph Forbes, the second baseman. Mike McDonald in left field. The Shockers' most valuable player, the catcher Eric Wedge, bats cleanup. Then the first baseman, Brian Winslow. The shortstop, forced to move from third to short because of an injury, is Pat Mears. Todd Dreifert is the right fielder. Mike Jones, the third baseman, batting ninth, and a young man who hit the biggest home run of the World Series last night, Mike Wentworth.
And the Texas defense will have Arthur Buster in left field. Lance Jones will be the center fielder. Jeff Schultz is in right field. Craig Newkirk is the third baseman. Steve Bethea is the shortstop. David Tollison will play second base. David Lowry will be the first baseman. Inspirational leader John Prather is the catcher. And on the mound, Scott Bryant.
The big right-hander, Scott Bryant, and he'll square off against Jim Odley, the center fielder. Hey, Joe, Bryant was drafted by your old team, the Cincinnati Reds.
Right.
Will they use him as a pitcher or a hitter?
I'd say a hitter. Cincinnati believes in hitting.
That's a pretty good-looking fastball.
It's a good fastball. He has an excellent fastball. I think the problem that he has is that he hasn't pitched enough innings, so around the third or fourth inning, you have to look for him to get tired.
Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. An amazing story, Scott Bryant. He went down to the bullpen during a game to convince Coach Gustafson that he indeed could pitch for the Longhorns. Missing outside, and Cliff's son, who's a coach, came back and said, Coach, there's a young man down there throwing some heat in that bullpen. You better take a look at it. Brings it into a game, missing a little bit high. What about Bryant's control?
Well, I think that's the key factor here. He's throwing very hard early here in the ball game, but he may be overthrowing, trying to throw a little too hard, and his control has always been suspect. He struck out 22 guys, but he's also walked 14 this season.
3-1 pitch to Odley, misses, and the leadoff hitter walks for Wichita State. P.J. Forbes, the second baseman. That was the 6th walk that Bryant has given up in 4 1/3 innings here in Omaha during the World Series. P.J. checking the signs from Coach Stevenson.
I think one thing that Texas cannot afford to do is fall behind early.
.90 miles an hour on the Jugs gun with that knee-high strike. John Prather, the catcher, got the sign from the dugout, flashed it on to Bryant, and there's the throw over to Lowry at first base.
I think he will be a better hitter, I think, in the long run than he will be a pitcher because he loves to hit. I think that's the key. He said he loves to hit.
Pitch out. Runner was not going.
That's a tough call right there when the guy's just walked the hitter and he's struggling with his control, and then you put him in the hole again by giving one ball away. He's throwing hard enough that they're going to have a shot at him at second base anyway if he tries to steal.
See if the signs are called from the Texas dugout. Passed on to Prather. Wichita State catcher calls his own. Runner going, throw down, and he's got him.
That's an excellent throw by Prather because that was a tough pitch to throw on. The ball was a breaking ball away. We'll get a look at it as the ball's breaking away and Prather has to reach out and get it. It's a hard slider from Scott Bryant right there. He backhands it, comes up, gets rid of it very quickly, and he's right on the money. Perfect play by the catcher. There you see he got a pretty good jump at first base. Oddly didn't. He runs very well. Just a perfect throw.
Texas turning in a fine defensive play. Pitch is foul back into the crowd here in Rosenblatt Stadium. And it counted 1 ball and 2 strikes on Forbes. Wichita, about 200 miles away from Omaha. A lot of their fans have driven here for this championship game. In fact, they were here all week. Check swing. Did he go? And he did not, says Gus Steiner at first base. He is a familiar sight at the World Series, the one-armed umpire. As a teenager, he was involved in a serious automobile wreck, and that's how he lost his right arm, and he has become one of the finest college umpires in the land. Chopped down into the ground, foul.
If Scott Bryant is able to get out in front of these hitters, he will be able to strike out a lot of hitters and control them because he throws so hard that his slider breaks down and away. You don't have a lot of time to wait for it to break. And you'll see a lot of these hitters chasing the slider if he can stay ahead in the count. But if he's behind in the count and has to throw the fastball, then they'll be able to swing it only strikes.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Pretty good pitch. Scott Bryant wants it anyway. We'll get a look at it. It's a breaking ball that maybe stays a little high. At least that's what the umpire Dale Williams says. Looked pretty good to us.
Fastball down low, and Forbes coaches the second walk out of Bryant, who is still unhappy about that call on 2-2. This is a big field. Rosenblatt Stadium. Down the lines, it's reachable. But you can see what happens as it reaches the power alleys in left and right center, and then it goes out to 420 feet in dead center field. The wind is coming over right field today. Right-handed hitter has a chance, but it would be very, very tough for a left-handed hitter to pull one and hit it out here this afternoon.
The ball normally carries well to left field in this ballpark anyway.
McDonald, the left fielder, taking a pitch down low for a ball and control. Bryant's problem in the first inning as Prather goes out for a few words with his pitcher.
Well, I think this is something that we anticipated, is that he may not have his control at the beginning of the ball game, and Texas cannot afford to stay with him very long.
And almost immediately, the Texas bullpen gets active. The left-hander warming up down there. Number 11 is Brian Dare. Now, he is their ace relief pitcher, but Gustafson will not hesitate to bring him in here early in the game. Smashed to dead center field and playable. Jones making the put out, and there are 2 out. What's your feeling about the aluminum bat? How would Joe Morgan like to have played with that?
I think it would have added about 25 points onto my batting average. I think that's exactly what it does do. It adds about 25 points on the batting average, and it adds 5 to 10 home runs a season to a guy that hits 20 home runs a year. So it would be quite a weapon. I don't think it would last in the major leagues because you'd kill all your third basemen and all your pitchers because the ball really jumps off the bat.
There's the alignment against the cleanup hitter for Wichita State, and the big catcher, Eric Wedge. took over as the Shockers catcher as a freshman and has been there ever since, taking that fastball strike. Bryant has thrown 8 balls, 7 strikes, and 1 controversial pitch here in the first inning.
This is quite a confrontation here. Wedge is a good fastball hitter. And, of course, Scott Bryant has a good fastball. This is power against power.
Bottom of the first inning, no score. Wichita State and Texas for the NCAA baseball championship. Down low, nice stop there by Prather on the short hop.
Prather's a very fine defensive catcher. We've already seen how well he throws, but he's also mechanically very sound.
Lead. The pitch gets away from Prather and through, and going down to second base is Forbes.
That's one of the problems that Scott has had all season. We'll get another look at it. 6 of his 8 wild pitches now have come from the stretch. There you see the breaking ball. The ball bounces. It kind of skids underneath his glove. He got down in front of it. He was trying to anticipate the bounce. It didn't bounce. It kind of skidded and went underneath it.
Forbes at second. 2 balls and a strike on the Wichita State cleanup hitter. Outside corner.
He has thrown some quality pitches here. By that, I mean he's been able to throw the slider on the outside corner a couple of times, but he's just been inconsistent with it. The ones that are bouncing, he's holding on to them a little too long. His release point is too low.
2-2 with first base open against the Shockers hitter. Count goes full as Prather keeps that ball in front of him, and Forbes does not go to third.
There you could see he just held on to that slider a little too long. This is a slider that bounces about 5 feet in front of the plate, as you can see, and this one bounces correctly, and he's in front of it. The other one took an erratic hop and skidded under his glove.
Too high, and Wedge is the third Wichita State hitter walked this inning by Bryant, and that will bring up the first baseman, Bryant Winslow. Winslow playing with that stress fracture, and as soon as this World Series is over, they will put the leg in a cast. He'll probably wear it for 5 or 6 weeks. Undoubtedly a high threshold of pain. Difficult for him to start and stop in a straight line. He has run pretty well here in Omaha this week, taking that knee-high strike from Bryant.
One good thing about Bryant is that he is not easing up to throw strikes. He's still throwing the ball hard, and I think that's what you have to do. You start aiming the ball trying to throw strikes, and these hitters will tear into you, so he's turning the ball loose still.
Hit to left field, falls in for a base hit, and Wichita State will score the first run.
Winslow gets a high fastball here, and he lines it to left field. I thought Butcher got a slow break on the ball because it's hit pretty hard. He lines his fastball to left field. And see, he had a slow start, Butcher did. Now he slows up and takes it on the bounce. And there's no way he has a chance to throw the runner out at the plate from that position. And Wichita State takes a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning.
And that's the first hit against Bryant in 5 innings. But walks got him in trouble. Walked 3, he'd be in even more trouble, but his catcher, Prather, threw out the leadoff hitter at second base. Mears, the shortstop, takes strike 1. Pat Mears was the third baseman for Coach Stevenson and moved to shortstop because of the injuries which struck down this Shocker team. They lost Lansing, the shortstop, and also their starting right fielder, Bonaquista. And it's amazing what they've accomplished here in Omaha. Outside and low.
I think if Scott Bryant can struggle his way out of this first inning without too much damage, I think he may find his rhythm because he's still throwing hard.
Brian Dare continuing to warm up in the Texas bullpen. 1 ball and 1 strike here with 2 out. Bottom of the first inning, Wichita State leading Texas 1-0. Wedge away from second. Good stop by Prather again. And he indicates that he went around with his swing. Steiner making the call at first base.
It's another slider that's low and away. And Mears cannot hold his swing up there. You see he does commit on the ball. Nice play again by Prather to keep the ball in front of him.
1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 out. Tough spot for a volunteer pitcher. The national championship. Breaking ball outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tough pitch to be a coach. And you have to make that decision to start this guy. Wichita State had their pitching rotation set up so that Brummett, their #1 pitcher, would be available for the championship game.
Goes full. His brother, Phil Stevenson, a member of the Chicago Cubs, as Gustafson comes out of the Texas dugout. With the count 3-2 and 2 out, runners will be moving.
I think Gustafson has found out something from the bench that he wants to convey, because you normally will not come out on a 3-2 count. You at least let the guy go ahead and throw the 3-2 pitch and then decide what you want to do.
Mentioning Gene Stevenson, who's done such a superb job with this Wichita State team. Last year, he was the lowest of the low. Against Arizona State, he was 1 strike away from a championship meeting against Stanford 3 times, and he couldn't hold the lead. And the next morning, he was absolutely devastated. And that night, Arizona State beat Wichita State 19-1. So this is a remarkable story that they're back in. They lead it 1-0. Count is 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out. Hit foul. 29 pitches this inning for Bryant. 16 of them balls and 13 strikes.
Well, as I mentioned in the beginning, he will not be able to go past the 4th inning anyway, because he has not pitched much this season, and he will tire quickly. And throwing this many pitches this early, he will tire even quicker.
And right now, it's the 1st inning that Texas is concerned about. Bounced ball 4, bases are loaded.
And this is a big decision here. I don't think they can go much longer with him, because if they get too far behind here in the 1st inning, they're going to be out of the ball game.
Catcher Eric Wedge moving along to 3rd base. Winslow is at 2nd. Mears is at 1st, and Gustafson will go to the bullpen in the 1st inning.
And I believe this is a good move, Brent, because you just cannot afford to get too far behind in the championship game.
The left-handed pitcher, Brian Dare from Austin. The hometown relief pitcher out of Westlake High School, coming in a jam in the 1st inning. Wichita State up by 1 with the bases loaded, and we'll come right back in a moment.
This class is a lot of fun for the girls, but it's giving me a screaming headache. At times like this, I used to take aspirin or Tylenol, but today I take Advil. See, Advil's strong. Just one Advil is as effective as 2 regular-strength Tylenol. And Advil doesn't upset my stomach the way aspirin can. Advil stops my tough headaches and puts me back in the game. Advil, tablets and caplets, advanced medicine for pain.
If somebody walked up to me and told me to give up my athletic ability, my self-respect, and my money, I'd be angry.
Good one. Swung on, line drive into right field for a base hit. He had 1 hit.
I wouldn't just throw away my talents or my hard-earned money. So I'm not going to rob myself of everything that's important to me by using drugs and alcohol. So if you're using drugs and alcohol, you're stealing from yourself. And sooner or later, you'll be left with nothing.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
And at the World Series, Dare has not surrendered a run in 7 innings of pitching. Coach Gustafson had this to say about his talented left-hander relief pitcher.
Brian Dare has been our guy out of the bullpen all year long. He's a chunky little left-hander that people say does not fit the mold of the University of Texas pitchers, but he's a crafty kind of guy. He throws 3 good pitches, fastball, curve, and change-up, and he usually has a command of all 3, and he sets hitters up nicely and has really been exceptional for us.
The mold of Texas pitchers. Greg Swindell, if you want to think of a left-hander who's now with the Cleveland Indians, and the heat of Roger Clemens and Calvin Schiraldi. Schiraldi and Clemens on that 83 team, which won the national championship. Todd Dreifert standing in. So he brings in the left-hander to face the left-handed hitting outfielder for Wichita State, and the first pitch missing for a ball.
One thing that happens when you come in a situation with the bases loaded, you have to throw strikes right away because the plate starts to shrink on you if you do not, and it gives the hitter the edge because he can sit on the fastball and try to really drive it.
Wichita State up by a run here in the first inning and threatening. A ground ball to second, and this should end the inning. Throw on to Lowry. And Texas is lucky to escape by giving up only 1 run in the bottom of the first inning. The Shockers taking the lead here in the championship game. 3 walks and 1 base hit. And we'll move along to the second inning. The Longhorns due to send up Craig Newkirk, David Lowry, and Jeff Schultz when we come back.
If you're a business spending over $120 a month in long-distance services, and you think that you're saving 20 to 30% with another carrier, we want you to try AT&T Pro Watts. We'll waive the installation charges, waive the change charges, and if you're not satisfied and agree that we have the best value, price, and quality, at the end of 90 days, we'll pay to put you back on your other long-distance vendor.
Save 10 to 26% or more on AT&T long distance. Call now.
I got dirty an awful lot when I was little. What am I doing here? You know this.
You're playing baseball.
Yeah, that's right. It came natural to get dirty. Johnson's baby shampoo has been great for my hair all through my life. It's strong. It makes my hair look clean. It makes my hair feel clean, and it's gentle. Look at this kid's hair. I think it looks good.
Johnson's baby shampoo, now also with conditioners for extra control.
I shower 4 or 5 times a day. It's never made me cry.
Johnson's, for the life of your hair.
I used pressure-treated lumber, and I still have $800 in water damage. How come?
Even treated wood needs Thompson's Water Seal protection.
This patio was supposed to last for years. Now I have $1,200 in damage. Why?
Your concrete wasn't protected with Thompson's Water Seal. Thompson's penetrates into wood, brick, or concrete to form a barrier water can't get past, even when driven by 98-mile-per-hour winds.
Let it rain. This time I use Thompson's, a great defense against repair expense.
Thompson's, the first name in lasting protection.
Well, we've had a minor bat controversy here in Omaha. Let's go to Leslie Visser for that story.
Brent, everyone knows about the pine tar incident from years gone by. Well, here in Omaha this week, we had the flat bat incident. Umpires threw out 3 bats from Wichita State on Wednesday night. It was the second time during the tournament that they ruled the bats illegal. Now, there's nothing, I have one of the bats here, there's nothing defective inherently in the bat. It's just that they get worn down from too much use. I don't know if you can see it, but you can definitely feel it. One more note on these instruments of play. Scott Bryant left his favorite bat back at the hotel, and the team official had to go over there right before the game and pick it up for him. Back to you, Brent.
All right, Leslie. Joe, someone should look at Kevin Mitchell's bat and see if there's not a flat spot on it.
Right.
Kevin Mitchell hit another one last night. Is that 23?
23 home runs for the season.
Rampaging San Francisco Giant left fielder. Here it's the college baseball championship we're deciding. Craig Newkirk, who has stroked 2 home runs in Omaha, takes ball 1 from Brummett. In case you just joined us, Texas threatened in the first inning. But Brummett knocked down the last 2 hitters, striking them out. The big play of that inning came when he picked off Tollison at first base with nobody out, and Texas runners on the corner.
You know, one thing you have to be aware of, that Brummett sit over there in the dugout for a long period of time, Brent. And sometimes you're a little slow starting off an inning when you've set that long.
2 balls and a strike. Adding to that bat controversy is the fact that the Longhorns had a couple of their aluminum weapons confiscated early today. Ball is hit in the air behind second base. Coming in is Odley. Going out is Forbes, and Forbes, battling the sky, makes the play.
Well, actually, Forbes was going out. He thought either the center fielder was going to catch it Odley or the right fielder Dreifert. He was not planning on catching it. He turns around, and you see the ball was his all the way. Nice play by Forbes. We second basemen, when we go out, we hope the outfielders come in and make the play. It's a lot easier normally for them. That was his ball all the way.
First baseman David Lowry stepping in for the Longhorns, taking a strike. And now Brummett starting to find his rhythm and pitching with a great deal of confidence ever since that pickoff play.
Well, he's a very confident individual. He's a bulldog on the mound. I mean, he's a tough competitor, and he keeps the ball down. I don't think we've seen a ball above the waist so far in the ballgame. He keeps the ball down very well, and as long as he does that, these college hitters are going to have trouble with him.
Stevenson felt during our conversations, Joe, that he had the right kind of pitching equipment to square off against Texas here today. 2 balls and 1 strike on Lowry.
Well, Texas had 10 or more hits in 6 consecutive ball games coming into this contest, but so far they're not getting good swings at Brummett.
Hit on the ground, right back at Brummett.
And that was another good sinker away. And Lowry tried to pull it and hit it right back to Brummett.
So since Texas put its first 2 runners on, Greg Brummett of Wichita State knocked down 4 in a row. And here's the right fielder, Jeff Schultz, for his first at bat. The lights have been on here at Rosenblatt ever since the start of this game. Catching the outside corner. The hitters could use wooden bats if they wanted. But here they've gone to aluminum or graphite throughout this World Series.
There's really no reason to use a wooden bat unless you have to. Because as we mentioned, the aluminum bat propels the ball a lot quicker through the infield and out of the ballpark.
A ball and a strike. Up high for 2 balls. What would happen if you gave Dave Winfield an aluminum bat in Yankee Stadium when he comes back?
I don't think you could get anyone to pitch because they know that their ball comes off their bat so sharply they would not be able to protect themselves. It's tough enough being a pitcher with these guys with a wooden bat.
On the ground to Forbes at second. 2 out. For 3, that knocks down the side in order. To correct that, 1, 2, 3 for Brummett. 5 Texas hitters in a row. Wichita State leading 1-0 and coming to bat in the bottom of the second inning.
Many men have sensitive skin that's irritated by shaving. Aftershave Skin Conditioner is clinically proven to soothe and relieve razor-scraped skin. Sensible care for sensitive skin. After.
By men.
Americans buy lots of imported cars. Isn't it nice to know that Napa has the parts right here when you need them? Don't miss the boat on parts for imports. Come to Napa.
This is CBS.
There's a motor oil that says it's engineered for today's smaller cars, like sports cars. But is that motor oil the first choice of the members of the Sports Car Club of America? No. Valvoline is the first choice of the members of the Sports Car Club of America. Valvoline makes the highest quality motor oil recommended by any automobile manufacturer. People who know use Valvoline.
If you need help reaching your personal financial goals, you need the skillful attention of a New York Life agent. Your local New York Life agents have the answers to your financial needs. They're thoroughly trained and give you expert financial advice. A New York Life agent can help tailor a financial security program to meet your exact needs and budget. So don't settle for less than you deserve. Get the most out of life with New York Life.
Match, tonight on Channel 4.
The finals, Game 3, tomorrow. Rock on!
With Joe Morgan and Leslie Visser, I'm Brent Musburger. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0. Wichita State with the lead. And the left-hander relief pitcher, Brian Dare, looking in at Mike Jones, the Shockers' third baseman. And again, because of injuries, he was forced to move to third base, and he's done a fine job for the Shockers here in Omaha.
I think with all the defensive changes they've had to make during the season, they have a very fine defensive ball club.
Sharp drive, took a bad hop on the third baseman. Newkirk goes down the line. Jones makes the turn, and he'll pull up at second base.
One of the things you'll see with Dare on the mound is that these right-handed hitters from Wichita will pull the ball a lot because he throws a lot of off-speed pitches. And there you see the ball is smashed and Newkirk cannot get to it. He tries to block it, hits him on the wrist, and goes into foul territory.
Jones at second base, and here is Mike Wentworth.
Well, they're scoring that as an error, Brent. That's a very tough error.
I'd say took that quick hop and came up on the heel of the glove.
And he was playing in shallow, protecting against the bunt. Tough error.
Here is Wentworth, and he hits one over the third baseman shortstop's head into shallow left field, and the runner forced to hold up at third base. A bloop hit to left field by Wentworth. And last night, he was the man of the hour for the Shockers, trailing Florida State 4-1. He smacked his second home run of the postseason. And what a story that is. Against Fresno State in the regional when they were in trouble. On his mother's birthday, he hit his first home run of the postseason. Last night, it was his father's birthday.
Well, Father's Day is coming up.
Happy Father's Day. And we move to the top of the Wichita State batting order. Jim Odley, the center field, with his second at-bat. That's Mark Smith, the right-hander, starting to warm up. Breaking ball strike.
I don't think they're going to take Dare out anytime soon. I think it'll have to be almost completely out of the ball game before he takes him out, because he does not have a lot of confidence in the other pitchers on the staff. That's why he brought Dare in so soon today.
Throw over to first. Oddly coaxed a walk off Scott Bryan to open the bottom of the first, and then he was thrown out attempting to steal second. Nobody out, runners at the corner. Shot foul down the left field line.
And there again, you're going to get a lot of action on the left side of the infield with these right-handed hitters, because he does throw a lot of off-speed pitches, and they will be able to pull the ball.
Newkirk, the third baseman, was attacked by that one drive. Steve Bethea is the shortstop, and Arthur Butcher, the left fielder.
Actually, Newkirk is giving them a lot of the line. They're giving him a little more than I think he should be.
Outside.
When you have a fastball pitcher like Scott Bryan on the mound, these right-handers will not be able to pull the ball. When you have an off-speed left-hander throwing, the right-handers will be able to get out in front a little bit more. And I think you have to guard the left side a lot more.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Hit foul out of play.
They've got Newkirk playing in on the grass still with 2 strikes, which says that they're going to come to the plate if they have to instead of going around the horn to get a double play. Newkirk will take a couple of steps in with the pitch. He's playing even with the bag. Normally you play back and try to get a double play to get out of the inning, keep them from scoring a lot of runs.
Hit on the ground to Newkirk, and he's got his man hung up between third and home. And the ball is dropped. Now the pitcher who had come to protect the plate does not make the tag in time.
This is not the right play to make anyway. It's a ground ball. It should be a double play. You go around the horn and get out of trouble. He starts to go to second, then he realizes that he has Jones hung up. Now they get him in a rundown, and he should have run him all the way back to the bag. But there you can see Newkirk took his eyes off the ball. And a very close play at the plate, but he's safe.
Great slide by Jones in scoring the Shockers' second run. They have taken a 2-0 lead and still threatening with Wentworth leading off from second base and being bluffed back. Oddly at first base.
Excuse me, Brent. I think Gene Stevenson will go for the big inning here. I think he will try to bunt the runners in the scoring position.
Forbes was shortening up that time as he takes a strike. Two errors have put the Longhorns in a jam here in the second inning.
Expect to pick the guy off when you try that pickoff play there. All you want to do is keep him close to the bag so you'll have a shot at a force out at third base in case there's not a good bunt put down by Forbes.
Lowry coming way in at first base. Ball bounces and is blocked by Prather.
Prather's had a tough job behind the plate here in just 1.5 innings. Actually, 1 complete inning.
He is also a very remarkable story. Texas fans are well aware that this young man has battled cancer the last year. Underwent radiation treatments as recently as last fall. Swung on and missed. And it has to be great inspiration to folks who are suffering cancer to see someone like Prather who is able to come back and play college baseball. Lifts the spirits of everybody.
The fact that he let Forbes swing away there surprises me because normally Gene Stevenson tries to move runners along in this situation.
And he struck out. The first out of the inning.
Forbes had swung through a fastball on the previous pitch, and this is a changeup. See it go down? Nice palm ball from Dare. You see he's way out in front of the pitch.
Left fielder Mike McDonald lined out to the center fielder in the first inning. 1 out. Teammates on at first and second base. Left-hander Brian Dare hit foul.
If Greg Newkirk would have gone around the horn and turned the double play, Wichita would have 1 run in and the inning would be over now. Instead, they've got 1 run in and they still have runners at first and second. That's why you take the double play instead of keeping the runner from scoring. You just try to keep the other team from having a big inning.
Hit right back to Dare. He'll try for the double play. The throw on to first is in the dirt and not in time, and dashing home with the 3rd run. Here's the Shockers' designated hitter, Wentworth.
This should be a double play. The ball is grounded back to the pitcher, Dare, and he turns around and gives a good throw to Bethea. That should be a double play right there. Just a bad throw. And it gets away. We see the throw getting away here. A good throw would have had him. But it's got to be an error on the shortstop.
error of the inning by the normally reliable Texas defense. That has been a staple of Gustafson's teams through the years. Great pitching and good defense.
And I can't stress enough the fact that I think they went the wrong way, because you give a team the other opportunities. You give them the extra outs with men on base, and they normally will take advantage of it.
Wedge's second at bat. Hits one high in the air. The shortstop going into shallow left field. Bassett making the final out of the inning, but the Shockers scored 2 more. Set up by 3 Longhorn errors. And we'll move now to the top of the 3rd inning. Bassett, Prather, and Jones due up for the Longhorns.
How does $27 in rebates from AC Delco sound? See this AC air filter? Sound like $1.75 to me. And this AC Duragard oil filter? $1.25. And this Delco battery? Feels like $6 easy.
Get up to $27 back in rebates on selected AC Delco parts, including spark plugs, wire sets, thermostats, and PCV valves. Now through July 16th.
Sounds like money in my pocket to me. This pocket, this pocket, and this pocket.
Now a report on new Domino's Pan Pizza. Deliver Pan Pizza. Great.
I love the crust. Oh, and the toppings and all that cheese.
And I didn't have to pick it up. So if you want a great pan pizza delivered, you've got to call Domino's Pizza. Domino's
Pan
Pizza. New Domino's Pan Pizza. Nobody delivers better.
For every man who wears Brute, there's a woman who loves what he smells like. Because there's something about Brute that's nice to be close to.
Honey, I was just thinking about you.
Brute. It smells like a man.
When you get zapped by circumstances beyond your control, it's good to know that MetLife works hard to pay your claim promptly. Get Met. It pays.
Rosenblatt Stadium has been a field of dreams for so many great college baseball players who've come through here. Mookie Wilson out of South Carolina in the 1977 College World Series, and then the great Barry Larkin enjoying such a tremendous season with the Cincinnati Reds. Greg Swindell of the Cleveland Indians, formerly of Texas, now with the Indians. And how about Will Clark? A few hitters better than Will. Rafael Palmeiro, now with the Texas Rangers, played here at the College World Series, and so did Roger Clemens. What's your feeling, Joe, about great young baseball players, the opportunity to go to the minors or go to college for a while?
Well, I think the way the situation is now, the way college baseball has become a big sport in college, I like to see them go to college, because you get to play around 70 ball games and you get an education to go with it. So I really like college baseball the way it is now.
Here's Steve Bethea taking strike 2 at the knees. His father, Bill Bethea, coaches first base for the Longhorns. Ball and 2 strikes.
Brent, what we see here with Greg Brummett is he stands on the far corner of the rubber, the third base side. The reason he does that, it gives him a little better angle for the crossfire on the right-handers to get the ball to the outside corner.
Another comebacker.
John Prather.
Now John Prather. You know, another thing that's remarkable about his battle against cancer is the fact that he was able to stay in school, complete his work, and he praises several teachers down there in Austin who were very understanding during his battle. Pitches down low for a ball. It's testicular cancer, and then they had to check all his lymph nodes. a little bit later. Strike at the knees.
There you see he's on the right side of the rubber, and he gets a good crossfire to those right-handers, and they can only go the other way with it when he gets the ball on the outside like that.
Forbes has been busy at second base. Well, again, we can't overstate the importance of that pickoff play. Texas put its first two hitters on base in the first inning against Brummett. And since then, he has retired 7 in a row after picking Tollison off at first. Looking in at Tollison and missing with the first pitch for a ball. Gustafson and the Horns trailing by 3 in the top of the third. Bounded foul down the first baseline. If nothing else, Texas has been a come-from-behind team all season long. The Longhorns have rallied 21 times this year to pull games out.
But to emphasize how well Brummett is throwing, Brent, only one ball has been hit to the outfield. That was the base hit. All the others have been ground balls to the infield and one pop up to second base.
He's inside. Texas baseball tradition is longer than Wichita State, but the Shockers have been a power this decade. Joe Carter, great hitter with the Indians, came out of Stevenson's program. Low outside for a ball, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs, top of the third inning.
And when you think of runs scored, you think of NCAA championships, you think of Southern California, of course, and Texas. But Gene Stevenson's team, they hold the record for runs scored in a season and wins in a season.
Ground ball again to Forbes. Throw on to first, and the Longhorns go in order for the second consecutive inning. No runs and no hits, so they are still trailing Wichita State 3-0. And the Shockers will send up Winslow, Mears, and Dreifert when you come back.
Who could ask for anything more?
Ask him if it has a 5-speed transmission like Isuzu.
Does it have a 5-speed transmission? Well, I'm going to check on that.
Ask him if it has a bigger payload than Isuzu.
Ignore him?
Or better mileage.
Does it? Not exactly. No!
Ask him why it costs hundreds more than Isuzu.
No!
Now you can save up to $1,000 on the Isuzu pickup during Isuzu's 75th birthday blowout.
What a jolt. The pain. My teeth. The dentist said I'd be all right. And he gave me a different medicine. It's in these little yellow pills. Nuprin works so well on that pain. No wonder it's great for my tough headaches.
Nuprin. It's not aspirin, not Tylenol. It's ibuprofen.
You know, 2 Nuprins stop my headaches better than extra-strength Tylenol. And Nuprin's gentler on my stomach than aspirin.
Nuprin. Little, yellow, different, better.
It even worked on my worst pain.
Give me the ball! Give me the ball! Give me the ball!
You got a thirst.
Give me the ball! Give me the ball! Give me the ball!
You know what you need.
Give me the ball!
Fluids and minerals fast.
Give me the ball!
Energy for hard-working muscles. Nothing better.
Give me some of that Gatorade.
He is a dedicated healer. Professional, sensitive,
and insane! Dr. Doctor premieres Monday at your new art.
Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha. Again, the site for the NCAA College Baseball World Series, and perhaps, Joe, the Longhorn fans can hold that graphic on the far right there.
They better hold it a little longer, right?
Their normally reliable defense betraying them in the previous inning. Texas had made 2 errors here in Omaha coming into the game, and they made 3 in 1 inning, and as a result, Brian Dare and the Horns are down 3-0, with Wichita State sending Winslow, Mears, and Dreifert to the plate here in the bottom of the third. Up high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
What Dare has to do is be able to keep the ball down on these right-handers, or he's going to get in trouble as well. And he doesn't seem to have his good control so far in the ball game either.
Had not given up a run in previous postseason NCAA competition until the previous inning. 2 balls and a strike on Winslow. Winslow 1 for 1. He singled in the first inning.
But unlike Scott Bryant, you can't sit on a pitch with this guy because he will throw some change-up, and you can't just sit there and look for the fastball when he gets behind in the count. He will throw all-speed pitches, which helps keep the right-handed hitters off balance.
On the outside corner.
He threw about 3 change-ups in a row, and then he came back with the good fastball, and he surprised Winslow.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Swung on and missed.
There you see he chases the slider in the dirt. This is what Dare does so well. When he gets 2 strikes on you, he gets you to chase a pitch. See, this starts in the strike zone, but there you see the bottom falls out of it, and there's no way Winslow could hold up on it. Good pitch.
Shortstop Pat Mears. He walked back in the first inning. On that outside corner.
I don't think you'll see him throw the fastball inside. As you can see, he's keeping every fastball away from these right-handed hitters, and I think that's the way to pitch. You can come inside bad for a ball, but you have to stay out there in order to keep them off balance. He doesn't throw quite hard enough to be able to establish the fastball on the inside part of the plate. Longhorn fan, not a 10-gallon hat.
I wonder what kind of a battle that snake put up. Swung on and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One of the key plays in this game, runners on at first and third, came when they hung the Wichita State runner-up between third and home and then couldn't get the put out. Foul tip held on to by Prather. 2 strikeouts in a row and 3 since he relieved Bryant.
It's another good 2-strike pitch from Dare. He throws it off the plate outside, and you can see Mears reaching for it, and he can't get to it. See, the ball's away from him. It's probably a ball because it's off the plate, but they can't lay off when they have 2 strikes.
And here's Todd Dreifert. 2 out, nobody on in the third. Wichita State up by 3 runs, 3-0. Missing for a ball. Sometimes defense is underappreciated in baseball. Wichita State making the play in the first inning, and Texas failing in the second, and that's really been the difference in the game so far.
I think a baseball game in the 7th game or a championship game is like the 7th game of an NBA game, whereas your guards are usually the ones that control the game. Your infielders have to play well in order for you to be a good team.
Hit foul out of play.
And so far today, the Texas infield has not played well. They have not performed under the pressure that they needed to. They should have made a couple of double plays, which they missed, and in both cases, it cost them runs.
Speaking of guards, the Lakers are certainly hoping that they have some healthy ones tomorrow in a critical Game 3 against Detroit. Magic Johnson, who likes to play some softball back home in East Lansing. Of course, he was a great basketball player at Michigan State before joining the Lakers, taking a strike at the knees. He sometimes goes on out to Dodger Stadium and takes a little hitting practice, and if he's watching this afternoon, I think all of us pass along nothing but our best. Even the Pistons would like to beat the Lakers at their strength if they're going to do it. 2-2 and 2 out. Down low, and the count goes full.
One of the things I'm noticing, though, if I'm a Wichita State hitter, is I eliminate the curveball from about from Brian Dare's repertoire because he has not been able to get it over the plate. He's basically going with the fastball and the change. Those are the pitches that he's able to throw for strikes.
Hit hard, but right at Lowry. A 1-2-3 inning for Dare. And so for the first time, Wichita State is unable to score. They lead Texas 3-0. We have completed 3 innings of this national championship game, and it'll be the heart of that Texas lineup due up next.
Presenting Kodacolor Gold 100.
Shining through, I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors, true colors.
Kodacolor Gold 100 gives you the truest color, the most accurate color of any print film.
Your true colors are beautiful, like a rainbow.
Nothing's rougher on a man's face than shaving. That's why there's Skin Bracer. It's more than an aftershave. It soothes, cools, tightens pores, so it's good for your skin.
Thanks. I needed that.
Skin Bracer Aftershave.
By men. Now it eats these things, all right? It opens its mouth, and it goes.
Peter, no TV till you've had your breakfast.
Now it eats these things, all right?
Well, don't worry, Mr. Bowen, you're covered.
Thank you.
It's automatic when you use the American Express card.
Lost, stolen, or damaged, a way to protect the things you buy.
Joe, here's a look at the coaches All-America team. Eric Wedge of Wichita State, the catcher. Arkansas had outfielder Troy Eklund. The Razorbacks came here to Omaha for the College World Series. Scott Bryant, the DH from Texas, still in this game. And I'll tell you, a young man who is ever so happy to be out of this city is Ben McDonald. 0-4, the first draft choice by the Baltimore Orioles. He had to run for an airplane.
Well, I think it was unfortunate because they did not see the best of Ben McDonald. He had some blisters on his finger.
Collison missing out a bunt attempt for strike one.
And he actually should get a pat on the back for trying to pitch under those circumstances because he was definitely injured.
Eight hitters in a row retired by senior right-hander Greg Brummett, trying to win Wichita State its first ever national championship in any NCAA sport. They had a chance for a title earlier this decade in Miami, but they would have had to beat the Hurricanes twice in a row, and they lost the first game. Brummett missing outside and low. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
I think all the initial adrenaline or the relaxation of Texas is worn off now. I think in the next 2 or 3 innings, we'll see some good baseball. The guys will probably settle down now, and they'll play better.
There is Forbes, who now 5 of the last 7 hitters have hit the ball his way. 4 ground balls and 1 pop-up.
And basically what that says is that Brummett is doing a good job of keeping the ball down and away from these right-handed hitters.
Here's Bryant, who left the game as a pitcher, but who stays in the game as the designated hitter. In the college game, you should look at those 2 spots as 2 different people. In fact, if you're pitching, you can be inserted as a pinch hitter, as a designated hitter while you're still out there, then taken out of the game as a pitcher, but you stay right in the lineup. Bryant, the long ball threat for the Longhorns. Taking one knee high.
Sorry, Rick. As I mentioned before, he prefers to hit, but I think all pitchers prefer to hit, if you ask them.
1 ball and 2 strikes. When you think of Texas baseball, you think of somebody like Bryant, a power. Roger Clemens, Calvin Schiraldi. Big, tough-looking Texan. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hit foul down the right field line. And coming over to make a nice catch is Jeff Schultz. But he did not hold on to it.
It's a fly ball down the right field line. You'll see Schultz get to the ball. But he just cannot come up with it. Actually, that's Dryford's coming up, and he just hits him in the heel of the glove and drops down. I think he was worried about coming into the pitching area there. They have the pitcher's mounds down there, and I think he was looking up at that and took his eye off the ball.
So a second life for Bryant. He makes the most of it by singling to right field.
And that was scored as an error on Dryford.
I think I misled you on that.
Yeah, you did.
So I
was listening to you.
Yeah.
This is a fastball away, and he goes the other way with it. That's a good piece of hitting right there. You could see his body position was better than the other guys who have swung at the pitches away.
Swung on a miss by Butcher, who was 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning. So Bryant becomes the first Texas base runner since that first inning.
One of the things you can notice about college hitters is their balance at the plate when they start after the pitch. The real good hitters keep their balance well. The other guys are leaning on the front foot, leaning on the back foot. They don't have good balance throughout their swing, but the real good hitters in college baseball all have good balance, and in Major League Baseball for that matter.
Butcher in a hole now. No balls and 2 strikes. Throw over, and Bryant easily back in. Outside where Wedge had set up his target. Wedge calls the pitches. Wichita State. Most of the teams here in Omaha had the coaches calling the pitches from the dugout. Line drive to center field, falls in for a base hit. Bryant holding up at second base. The ball momentarily gets away from the center fielder, Jim Odley, but Bryant not going anywhere.
That's not good base running there by Bryant. He had slowed up before he gets to the bag, and therefore he's not able to take advantage of the ball getting away. Pretty good swing there. As you can see, Butcher went out away from him and got the ball and hit it in the left center field.
And that will bring up the Texas third baseman, Craig Newkirk. One out and 2 on, and the Horns down by 3. Chance here to get back into this championship game. Just missing.
A guy like Brummett is never really in serious trouble because he can keep the ball down. He can get the ground ball, which can set up the double play here. I think he will keep the ball on the ground, and if he gets it hit at someone, they can turn the double play.
Newkirk came into this game batting .539 here at Omaha. And there are the leading hitters, and you can see that the Longhorns in particular have hit extremely well during this World Series. Now a moment for the third baseman. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 teammates aboard. Hit chopper toward third. Field it. The third baseman hesitates and can't get anybody. Mike Jones throws on the play, hesitating as to whether to go after Bryant, who was running down the line, or throw the ball to the second baseman.
Well, it's a chopper, and Jones charges the ball. You have to go to first base anytime you get in on the infield grass like that. There's no other play. He should have just charged the ball, taken the out at first base. There you see he runs, turns around, looks all around, and by the time he comes back, Newkirk is well across the bag at first base. And that's the first mistake actually made by the infield of the Wichita State Shockers.
Leaving the bases loaded with the first baseman, David Lowry. Now at bat for the Longhorns. And the pitching coach now to talk to Brummett. Here we can take a review of what happened as the Shockers jumped out to that 1-0 lead on Winslow's RBI single. Then in the second inning, Texas committing 3 errors, and they lead at 3-0. You know what's interesting about scoring is in the 3 errors, we had that hard smash that could have been ruled a hit. In this inning, they give an infield single on a ball where there is an actual mental error made by an infielder.
That's why I think they should have a team error.
Yeah, the late Dick Young, sports writer in New York, always pushed for the team error. Line drive toward left field. Ball will be caught by McDonald, but the Longhorns will score as Bryant comes in with the Horns' first run. Sacrifice fly by Lowry makes the score 3-1.
It's a fastball away, and Lowry goes the other way with it. You can see the ball's on the outside corner. And you see the catch being made out there by McDonald, but he really doesn't have a chance to throw Bryant out as he comes across the plate with Texas' first run of the 7th game, or the championship game, I should say.
Butcher held at second base on that fly out, and now it is Schultz making the strike on that inside corner. Jeff Schultz, the right fielder, grounded out in his only at bat. Two out. Texas runners on at first and second. Shortening up as if to bunt for the base hit. A surprise tactic here.
I think that's one of the things about college baseball that makes it so great. It's always unpredictable. Normally you will not bunt in this situation because you're down by 2 runs, you have a runner in scoring position, you try to drive one of the guys in. But in college baseball, guys try to get on base any way they can.
Getting away from Wedge and going to the backstop, and now the Longhorns will have the tying run at second base as the runners move up.
The slider that gets away from Wedge is trying to come inside with the slider. You'll see here, breaking down and in. Actually, it just should be a pass ball because Wedge just let the ball get away from him, and it is a pass ball. And the runners move up.
2 balls and 1 strike. The count on Schultz. And 1 strike. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
That's the second base on balls issued by Brummett. He walked the leadoff hitter in the first inning, and he's had good control up until this point.
Nobody warming up for Stevenson.
Nobody hurt now. Force anywhere. 2 down. Let's go.
I think Stevenson realizes that Brummett is his best pitcher. So he says, I'm going to go with him as long as I possibly can. He also realizes Brummett is a bulldog. He's a fighter. He's a real good competitor. And that's what you want on the mound in the championship game. You do not want to risk going too deep into your bullpen. Of course, he's trying to get to his stopper, Newland. If they can get to around the 6th or 7th inning, of course, then he's in good shape. But until that time, I think he wants to go as long as he possibly can with Brummett.
Steve Buffet with the bases loaded, and Texas trailing Wichita State 3-1 in the 4th inning. Takes a strike.
When you watch Brummett, you see a real good craftsman at work because he does not throw many balls into the middle of the plate. Everything's on the inside corner or the outside corner. That was a good fastball on the inside corner.
It's foul.
Another good pitch right on the inside corner, and he actually is timed Buffet up. He has no way to get his bat to that ball. You have to be able to get the head of the bat out on the fastball inside, and he's not able to do that. Now he's got him set up. He can throw a sinker away, or he can come in even more off the plate and possibly get him to chase a pitch.
No balls and 2 strikes.
And there he tries to come further inside, but Bethea was not biting.
And now 2-2.
Well, he tried to throw the slider on the outside corner, and he thought he did, but Dale Williams says it's outside. He set him up perfectly for that pitch by throwing 3 pitches inside, and then he tried to throw what they call the backdoor slider by starting it off the plate and letting it break on the outside corner.
Texas 1 run on 4 hits, and Wichita State 3 runs on only 2 hits. Another hit by the Horns here would tie this game. Hit toward first and second, and in no man's land, and Bethea beats it out. Winslow, who normally gives that ball to Forbes because of the stress fracture, went after it and couldn't make the play.
In this situation, Brent, it's the second baseman's ball all the way. You can see the ball's not hit very hard, and it's way over to the second baseman's position. And he should not have even gone that far. But here again, the second baseman should have been calling him off. Even though he broke that far, he should have said, "I've got it," and he could have made the play to the pitcher.
Now the catcher, Prather, steps in with the tying run for Texas, only 90 feet away.
Scored as an error on the first baseman.
At the knees for a strike. Brummett's speed on that Jugs gun, that gives you an idea of what he's done here today, but it's been the placement of his pitches that has been critical.
You see the competitor in Brummett coming out right here. They made a couple of mistakes behind him. I think he's gotten a little angry, and he's just turned the fastball loose the last 2 pitches.
It was no balls and 2 strikes on Bethea. Also, foul away. Down in the bullpen for Wichita State, Jeff Bloomer is up.
But I still think he's going to go with Brummett a long way before he makes that decision to bring Bluma in. I think he will have to be trailing in the ball game by more than 1 or 2 runs before he would take Brummett out.
Justice go down for a few words with his catcher. Out of the jam, but not before he gives up a pair of runs. And the Longhorns have climbed right back into this championship match. Wichita State leading 3-2. We'll move to the bottom of the 4th, and it'll be Jones, Wentworth, and Audley for the Shockers.
I love this game. I love to win, and I have, in college and in the pros. So I've had some experience celebrating. And you know, the way you celebrate says as much about you as the winning does. So do it right. Be responsible. Take care of yourself and your friends. Know when to say when.
A reminder from Anheuser-Busch.
You've just discovered your car has a clear coat finish, which your ordinary wax just ruined. New Simonized non-abrasive wax won't scratch today's clear coat finishes, and that'll save you a lot of grief.
The product.
The vehicles. The testing grounds. The results. STP oil treatment is the edge.
On this job, it doesn't take long to get a pounding headache. Even when the noise stops, I can still feel it drilling away up here. For headaches, I used to take aspirin or Tylenol, but today I take Advil. See, Advil's strong. Just one Advil is as effective as 2 regular-strength Tylenol. And Advil doesn't upset my stomach the way aspirin can. Advil gets rid of my tough headache so I can give everything to the job. Advil, tablets and caplets, advanced medicine for pain.
He knew First Love would be tough,
He's gone out for the football team.
but he didn't think it'd be like this. Corey Haim and Charlie Sheen, Lucas, tonight at 8.
Well, Wichita State leading by a run, and we have a moment here, so let's check in again with Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Brent, this is the 40th anniversary of the tournament here at Rosenblatt Stadium. Well, who is Mr. Rosenblatt? Johnny Rosenblatt was a former player in the old Western League and the mayor of Omaha who was instrumental in bringing the tournament here. I'm here now with Gene McCarter of the University of Missouri and the NCAA Baseball Committee. Gene, there's been a lot of talk, speculation maybe that although the relationship with Omaha and the College World Series has been terrific, that you might move maybe to a city with a dome stadium.
Well, I think there will continue to be speculation, but we're very happy with the situation in Omaha. The crowds, the event that it's become, we're quite satisfied now.
Well, that's terrific, but I don't think a dome would be appropriate here. Back to you, Brent.
All right, Leslie, and Joe, let you and I add some words of praise for the great job this community does. I think this series really has become part of Omaha, and they've done such a sensational job, I would think that everyone would hesitate before they even considered moving.
Well, there's been a lot of speculation the last 3 or 4 years, Brent, and it's still here, so I'm not sure that they're ever going to move from here.
Line drive, base hit by the leadoff hitter Jones for Wichita State in the 4th inning.
Brent, as we're in the 4th inning now, we're going to have to see how long Derek can go. We'll get a look at this pitcher. As I said before, he was able to throw a lot of fastballs before. Now that's a slider that hangs in the middle of the plate, and it's lined back up the middle by Jones. Look at the balance that Jones has right there.
Looking at what Dare did for Gustafson during the season, Joe, against Texas A&M, he once worked 6 2/3 innings. Against Arkansas, 5 2/3 innings. He entered this game with 2 out in the 1st inning, and now here he is in the 4th. Obviously, he doesn't figure to finish the game. However, you never can tell. Now, Kirk Dresendorfer is the star of this Texas team. He pitched them into this championship game the other night, and that was such a courageous performance. He had a back problem, and he just kept hanging in there like a bulldog to get the job done. And Dare has been their 2nd most consistent pitcher all season long. He came on in the Oklahoma State game in the Midwest Regional last week with runners at 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Texas was down by 2, got a sacrifice fly, and then 2 strikeouts. And the Horns came on to win that one, forced to duck back out of the way and in self-defense. Bunts it foul and out of play.
Well, here we see again, Gene Stevenson likes to bunt runners over, and especially with a left-handed hitter against a left-handed pitcher. But this fastball is way up and in, and he tries to get out of the way, but Wentworth keeps his bat there, and he fouls it out of play. But Gene Stevenson likes to use the bunt. He tries to force the issue with the other team. He doesn't wait for a lot of things to happen.
Mike Wentworth, the 5th-year senior. Throw on. Long to first base. He's a young man at the plate for Wichita State. A walk-on player, doesn't receive any scholarship money. He has meant so much for what the Shockers have accomplished here in the postseason.
People may ask, why is he throwing the first base so much? Because they're bunting. Well, he's trying to keep them from changing to a hit and run. And he's also trying to keep the runner close enough so they'll have a shot at him at second base if the bunt is not a perfect.
Into the air over the shortstop's head. Center fielder can't come in, and it's a base hit for Wentworth, his 2nd. The 8 and 9 hitters reach base for Wichita State. leadoff hitter as activity again in the Texas bullpen. And Smith up for the second time this afternoon.
I think Gustafson is starting to get really worried because he does not want to take Dare out this early in the ball game, but he cannot afford to stay with him too much longer. Oddly took a long look down at Stevenson at third base. I think he's going to be bunting, and Stevenson's already given him the sign.
Gets it down, and it's beautiful. Prato makes the play, retires Oddly, who has sacrificed the runners along to second and third.
This is an excellent bunt by Oddly. In fact, he deadened the ball perfectly down the third baseline. As you could see, all the Texas infielders were converging on it, but it was a very nice bunt. Normally, you try to make the third baseman feel the ball, but if you can deaden it down the third base line, that's just as good.
DJ Forbes from Pittsburgh, Kansas, with an opportunity here against Dare. The Shockers leading the Longhorns 3-2, bottom of the fourth inning.
Texas has an unusual inner defense here. They've got the infield in on the right side, and the shortstop is playing back. But Thea is still at his normal shortstop position.
Outside corner, knee-high strike.
I don't understand that, because if you're going to play the infield in, I think you have to play everyone in. Or if you're going to play back, you play everyone back. If there's a ground ball to shortstop, he has no chance of throwing Mike Jones out at the plate.
Great pitch out. Thinking that perhaps the squeeze is on. Stevenson again running through the signs for Forbes, who steps back in against Dare, with Gustafson watching from the first base dugout. High, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out, Wichita State runners on at second and third. McDonald and Wedge would be next here in the fourth inning. Gustafson perhaps thinking ahead to Wedge with the right-hander loosening up in the bullpen. On the ground to Bethea at short. Runners hold, and he knocks him down at first base for the second out of the inning.
That's kind of bad base running there, because he could have scored on the ground ball if he would have gone on the pitch. You see, he's playing his regular position. So Bethea backhands the ball. Now he holds the runner at third and throws to first base. But if Mike Jones would have gone on contact, no chance to throw him out at the plate when you're that deep.
Stevenson just made a couple of steps over and had a conversation with him.
I'm sure he was supposed to go.
Now it's McDonald. 2 out. And the infield obviously can move back. Third base, Jones, and at second, Wentworth. McDonald, the hitter. 0 for 2, reached on an error. Hits a shot and fielded by Newkirk, and the Longhorns are out of the jam. After the first 2 hitters reach base for Wichita State, then Dare knocks down the next 3. So we'll move along to the 5th inning with Wichita State leading Texas 3-2 in the battle for a national championship. Due up for the Horns, Jones, Tollison, and Bryant, the top of the Texas batting order.
If you're a business spending over $120 a month in long-distance services, and you think that you're saving 20 to 30% with another carrier, we want you to try AT&T Pro Watts. We'll waive the installation charges, waive the change charges, and if you're not satisfied and agree that we have the best value, price, and quality, at the end of 90 days, we'll pay to put you back on your other long-distance vendor.
Save 10 to 26% or more on AT&T Long Distance. Call now.
Today, we're going to find out why America rides Monroe shocks and struts. Sir, why do you ride Monroe?
It's the better handling.
Oh, says who? Huh? It's the smoother ride.
Better handling.
Smoother ride.
Better handling.
Now,
Well, whatever your reason, See your Monroe ride expert for the best ride ever. Guaranteed. No wonder America rides Monroe Shocks and Struts.
If you thought you had to give up comfort to get a close shave, Norelco says, think again. Their revolutionary shaving system shaves skin close in a way that's incredibly comfortable. As the hair enters the chamber, the patented lift and cut system lifts each hair and holds it a split second before a blade cuts it, so it's possible to shave skin close without the blades even touching the skin. The lift and cut shaving system from Norelco. We made close comfortable.
Top of the 5th inning, Wichita State 3 and Texas 2. From the top of the Longhorn batting order, center fielder Jones stepping in, 0 for 1. He also walked in the first inning.
Now that the Texas hitters have had a chance to see Brummett a couple of times, I think they should have a little better rhythm and start swinging the bats a little better. I don't think they've really attacked the ball very well off of Brummett. He's made some good pitches by keeping the ball away from them and keeping it down, but I think after you've seen him a couple of times, you should be able to get a little better swings in.
You know, Gustafson has accomplished so much in Texas, but the man who started the great baseball tradition was Viv Falk. And Viv, at the age of 90, passed away the other night, and I'm sure that Texas fans remember all that he accomplished down there. Back in 1920, he was the outfielder who replaced the legendary Shoeless Joe Jackson with the Chicago White Sox. Strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. I think there's a lot of folks who think that Gustafson invented baseball at Austin, but it's not true. It was Bibb Falk. 2 balls and a strike. The count on Jones. He bunts. And a beautiful one. The throw, not in time, as the first baseman and the runner collide. And remember, the first baseman already playing with a stress fracture, and he is down in a heap. And Jones is not getting up too quickly either.
It's almost a head-on collision there they had at first base, Brent. Jones' throw was on the inside part of the bag, and it pulled Winslow to that side, and they almost hit face on.
And they are handling that injured leg, the right leg, gingerly down there at first base. Bryant Winslow in obvious pain. Here's a replay of it, Joe.
That's a perfect bunt down the third baseline. Jones charges, bare hands it, but his throw is to the inside part of the bag right there. And you could see that Winslow was trying to catch the ball. He was going for the ball. And of course, Jones is going to first base, and they collide right there, almost head on. And you can see his right knee right there. It's stretched as Jones runs into it. See his right knee is kind of pulled behind him there.
In a great deal of pain.
Well, Jones is up. Lance Jones is up at first base. There you see Winslow. He's still down. They're working on his right knee.
They're tending to Winslow there at first base. We can remind everybody that following this championship game, we'll be going for the 3rd round of the Westchester Classic. And that tournament has been battling rain problems too, but we understand that they are playing now in the 3rd round.
I hear you're a pretty good golfer, Brent.
I can lose more pinnacles. I want some of your buddies like Willie McCovey to play with me.
The reason that Winslow is down is because he was hit head on by Lance Jones. As we get another look at it, you can see the throw was on the inside of the bag, and he was trying to make the play. And I think that's the toughest play for a first baseman, and you hear a lot of guys getting injured that way. Usually they get their elbows stretched by catching the ball on the inside and the runner hitting them. But now at least he's up, so he's feeling a little better, but I think he's going to have to leave the ball game because it's also the right leg that's already injured.
Playing with a stress fracture all tournament long, so you talk about the courageous performer of this championship. It has been first baseman Bryant Winslow.
Maybe he's not going to leave the game, Brett.
Limping around on the injured leg. To play. Stevenson is short-handed, but I'm not sure that he's going to be able to. And in front of the Shockers dugout, a couple of players beginning to loosen up.
No, I don't think he's going to be able to play. He cannot put much weight on his right leg at all, Brent. You're not going to be able to play baseball that way.
Joey Wilson starting to loosen up. Playing catch with the designated hitter, Wentworth. He's some bulldog.
Yeah, but it's even tough for a bulldog to run with 3 legs. I think he's going to have to come out of there.
You can see the pain there in his face. No one is exactly sure how he suffered the stress fracture to begin with. Did take a ball off the shin, and then he went for an x-ray, and that's how it was discovered. But Coach Stevenson feels that it might have been injured before that. So while he's being tended to, and we've got an opportunity to break away, we'll do just that. And we'll come back to Omaha in a moment.
I think that competing in athletics at Pitt taught me a number of things. How to be a leader, how to work with others, become a stronger team. I learned a good work ethic of how to work hard and to achieve. The competition in the games that we had was at a high level, and that same kind of competition is something that we face in the business world. The experience of being a college athlete had a dimension of its own. It was a tremendous opportunity to meet many people, to travel around the United States, to play in front of a lot of people. It was just a great added dimension to my college education, and one that I'll never forget, and one that means a lot to me.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
Well, wearing the Purple Heart over there at first base is Bryant Winslow. He's going to try to stay on. Tollison at bat for the Longhorns, who trail Wichita State by a run, taking the knee-high strike. Jones, the leadoff hitter, beating out the bunt single. And now he's going to lead.
Well, I didn't see any way he could stay in the ball game when you can't put any weight on your right leg. And I think the Texas Longhorns were probably going to start bunting on him. He gets a great hand from the fans here in Omaha, and it was a courageous effort to try to stay in the ball game, but I think he's doing what's best for his ball club as well. Here you see he's holding the runner on, and he tries to move off the bag, and he can't even move to his right. And there you see him calling timeout, and he says, I have to come out. I mean, he could really hurt the team by staying in the ball game and hurt himself even more, so I thought it was best that he come out as well.
They will move left fielder Mike McDonald to first base, and they will send Joey Wilson out to left field.
Mike McDonald, now playing first
McDonald loosening up at first base. This Wichita State team already shorthanded coming into this World Series. They had lost their regular shortstop and their starting right fielder. Mike Lansing, the shortstop, out, and Jeff Bonaquista also unable to play. So Stevenson feeling that he was down to 11 able-bodied position players as Brummett throws over to first base and Jones dives on in. The count is no balls and 1 strike on Tollison. Longhorns with their leadoff hitter on base. We're in the 5th inning. The Horns are down by a run. Ground ball to McDonald, who's tested right away and makes a nice stop and a put out on Tollison as Jones reaches second.
It's a very nice play by McDonald, especially when you just move over to that position. But watch how he gets down in front of the ball. He's going to block it with his body, but actually makes a good catch of it with his glove. But he was in front of it. The ball wasn't going to be able to get by him. Nice play. But the runner goes down to second base, and he's the tying run.
Bringing up the number 3 hitter and the leading hitter for the Longhorns all season long, Scott Bryant. He started the game as a pitcher and had to be relieved early on as he fouls one away. He's 1 for 2. He struck out in the first inning, singled to right, and scored the Longhorns' first run in the 4th inning. Now in a position to tie the game. Foul. Dictating to the number 3 hitter for the Longhorns. Wedge sets up outside. Only a junior, Bryant could come back, but at Texas, as is the case with most schools, when you have major league potential, you are urged to go ahead and sign that contract, as Bryant will with the Cincinnati Reds following this World Series. Then the club will be able to make contact with it and talk to the young man about a contract. Check swing tip and held on to by Wedge.
After he threw him a couple of sliders away, he's coming inside off the plate, and we'll get a look at it as Bryant tries to check his swing, which he does, but the umpire said it was a foul tip. And so he's out. We'll get another look at it here. It's a fastball running inside. And there you can see he checks his swing, but foul ball, but Bryant doesn't think so.
That's 4 strikeouts for Brummett in this game, as Butcher, the cleanup hitter, takes ball 1. So after retiring 9 hitters in a row, 6 of the last 11 Texas hitters have reached base, but that was a big out, perhaps the biggest out of the game. And now it's Brummett against Butcher. Hit on the ground to McDonald, who makes it 2 for 2 after coming on to play first base. The Horns threaten, but they can't score, and they still trail it by a run, 3-2. And CBS Sports coverage of the 1989 NCAA College World Series will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball!
You got a thirst.
Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball!
You know what you need.
Give me the ball!
Fluids and mineral fat.
Give me the ball!
Energy for hard-working muscles. Nothing better.
Give me some of that Gatorade.
This is CBS.
The City Council of New Orleans extends its highest commendations to Mike Brenner for outstanding service. Come celebrate during Mike's 80th birthday sale going on now at Universal Furniture.
The truth is, it's easier to cure a sexual problem than to admit you have one. For confidential inquiries, call the Center for Sexual Medicine.
The name Brennan has been associated with quality insurance nearly half a century. For your auto insurance, it's Dave Brennan. Low down payments and monthly notes. Call Dave Brennan now.
The magic you remember is waiting for you now at the all-new Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. A wondrous array of the splendid, the extraordinary, and the impossible. It's a dazzling display of colorful clowns, aerial artistry, ferocious felines, and death-defying daredeviltry. It's everything you remember and more than you can imagine. It's the greatest show on earth.
Coming to the Louisiana Superdome July 7th through 9th. Don't miss your chance to see the greatest show on earth.
Join us for Eyewitness News today at 5.
On their star-studded home turf, the finals, Game 3, tomorrow. Rock on!
Well, we're back in Omaha, and Joe is joined by his good friend, the Maniac, from Miami. Nice to see you, Maniac.
He doesn't talk, Brent.
You know, as a Miami fan, I'm surprised he doesn't try to choke me.
What is that you have in your left hand?
Holy cow, what was that? All right, back on the field. Wichita State will send up their cleanup hitter, Eric Wedge, then Joey Wilson, and shortstop Pat Mears after that. First pitch, a strike to Wedge. Wedge, the cleanup hitter, 0 for 1, and he has walked. You can see the line score. 5 errors in this championship game. Both sides a little jittery.
And I think a couple of mental errors as well, Brent.
Ground ball to short, and Bethea up with it, throw across, gets Wedge.
That's a fine play by Bethea because the ball came up on him just when it got to him. He was able to control it and make a good throw. Wedge is a good hitter. You can see that he goes out and attacks the ball. Now watch this hop right there. But he controls it with the glove, takes the bare hand throw, and then has a good enough arm that he can throw Wedge out from deep in the hole.
Now, Joe, here's Troy Wilson, who came on to play left field after Winslow had to leave with that injury. So this is his first at bat. Wichita State led it 3-0. Texas rallying in the 4th. Down 3-2 as Wilson takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. Dare came on with 2 out in the first inning. The bases loaded. He retired Dryford on a ground ball, and he's been in ever since as Wilson swings through the pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's a good curveball from Dare. There's the Maniac. He took it off of your shoulder. Now he's dropping it down in the fans.
2 balls and 2 strikes. He is some character. Fouled away again. Even with the Miami Hurricane team, which of course, like Texas, one of the great baseball powers almost annually in college baseball. Even when they're eliminated, the mascot stays on here to entertain the good folks in Omaha. That's how popular he is, especially with the youngsters who come to the games. Foul again. They've had great crowds here at Omaha, and even with the games sold out, the blackout lifted in that morning rain, a lot of the folks have come on here to Rosenblatt Stadium to watch in person as Wichita State and Texas are playing for a championship. And the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes on Wilson.
I think Dare obviously has done a good job. He's been able to keep Wichita State under control while Texas has been able to come back and put 2 runs on the board and make this a very fine ball game.
Popped into shallow center field, base hit.
He reaches out on this fastball. It's up is the reason he's able to get a piece of it and get it in the air. If that ball would have been down, he would have hit a weak ground ball someplace, but it's up. And he bloops it in between the shortstop and the center fielder, not able to get there in time.
Prather goes out for a couple of words with his pitcher as Stevenson huddles with Mears.
I think what Stevenson is doing here is he's trying to let Mears know that he may want to run Wilson. And if he gets a good enough pitch, go ahead and try to hit it, maybe on a hit and run situation. But if it's not a good pitch, go ahead and take it and see if Wilson can steal the base.
close championship games have been the order of the year for the NCAA. Michigan, Seton Hall, and that great overtime game for the basketball championship. Harvard winning the hockey title, thrown over to first base.
Bear has an average move. It's not really that good, and it's not poor. It's just kind of an average move. But being left-handed, that bothers a lot of base runners.
Down low, and the count is 1 ball. Looked like Gustafson was hiding as he was calling signals down there in the Texas dugout. Wilson away. Foul back out of play.
So far, he has not fooled Wilson at first base because he's been able to read his move. Every time he's come to first base, he's been able to get back, and he wasn't breaking back when he delivered to the plate. You see that a lot of times with base runners. They throw to first base, they get back, but then they throw it home, and they're still going back. He seems to be able to read there pretty well. There's a good view of his lead. That's a pretty big lead at first base. You see he gets back pretty easily. So he's reading him pretty well. A lot of times you see a base runner, he'll get a one-way lead. He'll get a big lead, but he's always going back to the bag. That's not the case with Wilson.
Foul away. One ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning.
We talked about the wind blowing out the left field being a factor, but it has not so far in the ball game.
Pitch out. Wilson not going.
This is a perfect time for a hit and run if you're Gene Stevenson, the manager. 2-2 count. Dare is going to be someplace around the plate because he doesn't want the count to go to 3-2. And if you want to put Wilson in motion, this would be a perfect time to do it.
Which he does. Get into left center field and deep. Way back. It's out of here for a home run for shortstop Pat Mears. Some breathing room for the Shockers.
And maybe that was a kiss of death for Texas, mentioning that the wind had not been a factor before. And sure enough, he hits this ball over the left center field wall. Joey Wilson is running on the pitch, and it's a high fastball, and Mears gets most of it and pulls it into left center field, and I think the wind helps it a little bit. But he got a lot of wood on the ball, or I should say a lot of aluminum. We'll get a look at it. Look at the balance, his head. If you draw a line straight from his head down through the rest of his body, it was almost perfect balance there. And that's why he was able to hit the ball so hard.
And the sophomore from Salina, Kansas, makes it a 5-2 Wichita State lead. As right fielder Todd Dreifert steps in and takes ball 1 with Mark Smith up in the Texas bullpen for the 3rd time this afternoon. Fouled away. That home run by Mears, the first extra base hit in this game so far. It had been errors figuring in most of the runs. As Smith continues to loosen up. this inning. A single by Wilson and the home run by Mears. And there's another base hit. Let's check on Winslow's injury, and here's Leslie Visser again. Leslie?
Brent, I was just down in the clubhouse with Bryant Winslow. He said he jammed his foot on the bag trying to make the play. He's in tremendous pain now. He further damaged the tibia that's been bothering him all year. They're taking him for x-rays, but when he heard about the home run, a big smile crossed his face. Brent?
Yeah, I'll bet it did. The way he played this week with that stress fracture in the tibia area, not wanting to come out after the leg was damaged even further, and now his Shockers are up 5-2 on the home run by Mears. Bottom of the 5th inning. 1 out. Dreifert on at first. Jones, the third baseman, the batter.
What has happened here to Dare is he started to get the ball up, and when you're a left-handed pitcher that does not throw very hard, you're going to have trouble with right-handed hitters if you get the ball up in the strike zone, and that's what's happening to him.
Very close on that outside corner.
Brent, we had talked earlier about when they pitch out, what it does. He pitched out and he took the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now Dare did not want to take the count to 3 and 2 because the runner would be going. So he ends up throwing a fastball. The guy was probably sitting on it and he was able to hit it out of the ballpark. So the pitch out, I think, really hurt him there.
Knee-high strike, 2 balls and a strike. It's been uphill all game long for Texas. They gave up a run to Wichita State in the first inning as Dare again throws on to Lowry at first base. Too high. 3 balls and 1 strike with 1 out.
Dare cannot afford to pitch behind in the count because he cannot afford to throw 3-1, 2-0 fastballs to these hitters.
Come on, Joe!
Even in pain, Winslow has returned to the Wichita State dugout. Strike called, and the count goes to 3-2.
That's a good pitch from Dare. He took a little bit off the fastball, and he had Jones out in front.
The injured right leg.
What that plastic does is you can put cold air through there and it acts as ice.
Swung on and missed. Now 2 out.
As I mentioned, Dare made a good 3-1 pitch to get to 3-2. Now he comes back with a very good fastball that sinks down over the outside corner, and Jones chases it.
This Wichita State team has done it the hard way all tournament long. Out west in Fresno, they had to beat the home team. And then the next day on Sunday, to get here, they had to beat Michigan a doubleheader. The Wolverines had already beaten them in soundly. And the Shockers did just that. And now playing for the national championship, they're up 5-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Wentworth, who is 2 for 2 and had the biggest home run of the series last night. And the Shockers trailed Florida State 4-1. Taking that knee-high strike again.
Now you see Dare getting the ball down again, and that's how he was successful the past 3 innings. But he threw a couple of high fastballs at the beginning of the inning, and that got him in trouble.
Too low. 2 balls and 1 strike. The other night, Joe, I know you were down in Houston for a game while the Cubs were hosting the Mets, and the Cubs wanted an extra innings with a squeeze bunt against Davey Johnson and the Mets. The young man who dropped it down, Rick Rona, played college baseball at Wichita State.
Well, I think one of the things that we've noticed about Gene Stevenson is that he likes to use the bunt, and I'm sure he learned the bunt while he was at Wichita State because he uses it very effectively. 2 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. The other night, Joe, I know you were down in Houston for a game while the Cubs were hosting the Mets, and the young man who dropped it down, Rick Rona, played college baseball at Wichita State. Well, I think one of the things that we've noticed about Gene Stevenson is that he likes to use the bunt, and I'm sure he learned the bunt while he was at Wichita State because he uses it very effectively.
Schultz. And in front of the warning track with the wind blowing it in, he makes the put out. Without that wind, who knows? Wentworth might have had another one. But as it is, Wichita State scores 2 more on Mears' home run. And they lead it 5-2. It'll be Newkirk, Lowry, and Schultz. 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up for Texas.
To prove how long Rain Dance car wax lasts, just add water. Rain Dance, the longest lasting protection you can buy.
For every man who wears Brute, there's a woman who loves what he smells like. Because there's something about Brute that's nice to be close to.
Honey, I was just thinking about you.
Brute, it smells like a man.
Go where you wanna go, call when you wanna call.
Get the lowest price ever at Radio Shack on the most powerful transportable cellular phone system. Just $7.99 when you sign up with Radio Shack's authorized cellular phone carrier.
Go where you wanna go.
There's nothing else to buy, and it's ready to go wherever you go.
Call when you wanna call.
Use in your car, or go portable and take it along. Radio Shack's complete transportable cellular phone system. Just $7.99 only at Radio Shack, the technology store.
I stained this last year, and it's fading already. Why?
You didn't use Water Seal Stain, the only stain with Thompson's Water Seal. It seals water out and protects against fading, so the next time you stain won't be for a long time. Thompson's Water Seal Stain.
This CBS Sports Saturday Special Edition, the 1989 NCAA College World Series Championship, is sponsored by Pizza Hut, home of pan pizza that's winning the hearts of America. Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade is thirst aid for that deep down body thirst. And by the Menon Company. All over the world, Menon products take care of people who take care of themselves.
With Joe Morgan and Leslie Visser, I'm Brett Musburger. We have moved to the 6th inning, and Joe, the Longhorns again must come from behind. They trail Wichita State, and they have trailed all game long. Now it is 5-2.
But they're also getting into the dangerous part of the ball game for them while they're trailing, because Wichita State has Jim Newland in the bullpen, and we're getting close to Newland time. So that if they do start any kind of attack against Brummett, they will be facing Newland right away. So you want to try to do something this inning or next, because if you get to the 8th or 9th, you're going to have problems.
Brummett has gone all the way here this afternoon as he falls behind Newkirk. 2 balls and no strikes. Newkirk with an infield single in the 4th inning. He also popped up to the second baseman in the 2nd. And it's 3-0 with Wedge going out to confer with Greg Brummett.
One thing that I'm impressed with Brummett, even when he misses, he's missing low, he's missing down. If you keep the ball down, you're not going to get hurt by the long ball.
First strike to Newkirk, 3-1, and again he kept that one low.
Yes, and he's throwing 87 miles an hour, and he was around 84 and between 84 and 90 before, so he's still in the same range.
The leadoff hitter for Texas walks here in the 6th inning. Now, the Longhorns hopeful that the bottom of the batting order can do the same kind of damage that Wichita State has. Last night, the last 3 hitters for the Shockers were 6 of 9 with 7 RBIs, and today they're 4 of 7. And for Gustafson, it'll be Lowry, Schultz, and Bethea. Lowry drove in a run with that sacrifice fly. Takes a strike.
The one thing you can't afford to do if you're a hitter for Texas is take the pitch when it's above the belt. When Brummett gives you a pitch to hit, you have to attack it, because he's going to make quality pitches after that. Now he took the pitch right down the middle. Now he's going to go down and away and keep the ball down, and you're probably going to hit a ground ball and do exactly what Brummett wants, and that's hitting the ground ball for a double play. So What Texas has to do is, I think, be a little more aggressive on pitches that he gives them to hit. They're above the waist. I think they have to attack the ball.